This is Michiana's breaking news and weather station. MNC. On News Talk 95.3, 101.9 FM, and 1340 AM, your MNC nation stations.
Good morning. Welcome to Monday. It's August the 19th, 2024. I'm John Zimney in the MNC News Center. And the news continues now with our top local stories. Attorneys have met with a judge to go over the status of an appeal for a murder conviction from more than a decade ago.
Michael Schown of Elkhart is currently serving life without parole after being charged for the stabbing death of his 17-year-old girlfriend in 2013. Schown was dating Tiana Alter, who was living with Schown's sister, and was staying in Alter's room as he was a fugitive from a work release facility where he was supposed to be serving time for habitual traffic offenses, according to the Goshen News. Schown and Alter reportedly had a history of using synthetic drugs, and during a party during November of 2013, Schown reportedly came out of the bedroom he shared with Alter with blood on him. Alter was found in the bedroom rolled up inside the carpet that was pulled up from the floor and surrounded by a pool of blood. Documents say Schown appeared paranoid and was talking about satellites, the devil, and empires. An evidentiary hearing has been scheduled for February 15th. Alyssa Foster, MNC News.
News at 5 o'clock is powered by Burkholder Buildings and Supply. If it can be built in an office, a farm, or anywhere else, Burkholder is the highest quality for any need. Burkholder Buildings and Supply can help. Call them today. 2 people were hurt and 1 person arrested after a shooting in South Bend. It was around 2:45 yesterday morning when South Bend police heard gunfire, which led them to the 600 block of North Johnson Street. Now, shortly after, officers learned that 2 victims with gunshot wounds arrived at Memorial Hospital. After their investigation, police identified 22-year-old Taiwan Wilkins as a suspect. He was arrested on preliminary charges. And the first day of school at Northside Middle School in Elkhart got off to an unusual start when police were called on the report of a man with a gun. The man was dropping off a family member Thursday morning when school security told him he could not have a firearm on school property. He then left, and police found him near Main and Floyd Streets. They took the gun for evidence, but he was not arrested. The case is now being reviewed by the Elkhart County Prosecutor's Office. Today is the first day of school for thousands of students in Michigan. Students who attend Burr Oak, Centerville, Colwyn, Constantine, Nottawa, Sturgis, Three Rivers, and White Pigeon schools are back today. In Indiana, Culver Academies and Marquette Catholic High School students return. New this morning on MNC, a new drug has been found on the streets of Indiana, and police say it's much more potent than fentanyl.
It's called nitazene, and a toxicology lab found it in a man who had overdosed and died in Fishers.
Most people are purchasing this drug unknown. They're ordering pills through the black market pharmacies.
Hamilton County Coroner Jeff Jellison, speaking with Wish TV, says when people order pills online, they're getting cocktails of poison. Ryan Hedrick, Network, Indiana.
2 men were arrested for drug-related charges after police in LaPorte County investigated a vehicle at the grocery shop on North Wozniak Road. Officers say 1 man outside of the SUV and another running nearby. They also found meth in clear baggies thrown from the vehicle. 50-year-old William LeCount was caught after a short chase. 32-year-old Christopher Michaels was arrested without incident. Both face possession of meth charges, and LeCount also faces resisting charges. From Michiana's election headquarters, the primary election for Penn Township Treasurer in Cass County isn't settled just yet.
Cass County Clerk Monica McMichael reports a tie between incumbent Paul Rutherford and challenger Jody Butcher, both with 281 votes. This tie resulted from a voting error where a voter was initially turned away due to a mix-up in state voter software. A new election is usually only held if a voter was wrongly denied their right to vote. McMichael initially planned a mail-in ballot for the position, but was halted by a cease and desist letter from Penn Township's attorney. She's now seeking legal advice on how to proceed with the November ballot deadline approaching. Leader Publications reports if no mail-in election occurs, a recount might be conducted. And if the tie remains, the winner will be decided by drawing slips from a bowl. Tommy Lee, MNC News.
Well, it's now been 8 months since the fire that took the lives of 6 young children.
The community gathered Friday to remember the 6 children who died in a house fire in South Bend. A rededication event took place on LaPorte Street, where a makeshift memorial stood since the tragic fire that claimed the lives of the Smith 6. Organizers asked people to bring new teddy bears, balloons, and toys to honor the children, and the public responded in kind. According to the Indiana State Fire Marshal's office, the cause of the fire is still being investigated. Alyssa Foster, MNC News.
A driver in Marshall County is recovering from injuries after a crash this past weekend after running over a power line cable on US 6 near 1C Road. A recent storm had knocked a tree down and the power lines down, leaving a cable across the road. The driver said he didn't see the cable, which got tangled in the vehicle's wheel and then led to the collision. And a 95.3 MNC consumer alert to pass along today as Ford has recalled tens of thousands of Explorer police vehicles regarding potential engine fires.
Ford's recall affects 85,000 2020 to 2022 Explorer police interceptors with 3.3-liter hybrid and gas engines that may fail prematurely and possibly result in a fire. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration saying in the case of an engine failure, significant quantities of engine oil or fuel vapor could be released into the under hood area and potentially ignite. That as of last month, there were 13 reports of under hood fires on Explorer police interceptors in North America, though no reports of accidents and injuries and no reports of fires on non-police Explorers. Ford says a fix is currently being developed.
The special judge in the Delphi murders case has denied 2 motions from suspect Richard Allen's defense.
The defense team in the Delphi murders case wanted charges dismissed based on what they called exculpatory evidence, which would prove Allen's innocence, but Judge Gall ruled Friday they could not prove that evidence was exculpatory. The judge says Allen's legal team also couldn't establish a solid line of evidence against an alternative suspect. Judge Gall also denied the motion to punish the prosecution for what the defense called abuse of evidence rules. Trial begins October 14th. Donnie Burgess, Network Indiana.
The Berrien County Sheriff's Department has arrested a man who they say stole restaurant equipment from a Buchanan Township business. It's back on August 12th, a gas generator was reported missing from Evelyn May's Barbecue on Redbud Trail. The generator was located at a home a couple of days later. 44-year-old James Bauma was arrested and is being investigated in several similar thefts in that area. An illegal immigrant living in Elkhart's been sentenced to nearly 20 years in federal prison after pleading guilty to distribution of 400 grams or more of fentanyl. Prosecutors say 50-year-old Guadalupe Reyes Jr. of Mexico oversaw the shipment of more than 3,000 fentanyl pills through the mail from Indiana to Texas. It happened in August to October of 2022. Reyes will also have 5 years probation. Now, watching the economy beginning next year, Michigan workers will need to pay, employers, that is, will need to pay their workers more than $12 an hour after a landmark state Supreme Court ruling.
The 4-3 decision reignites Michigan's 2018 ballot initiatives on minimum wage and paid sick leave. The wage will be $10 per hour, plus an adjustment for inflation since 2018. The ruling should mean higher pay for over 800,000 workers in the Great Lakes state, including a 48% increase for tipped workers. Saruj Rahman with the advocacy group One Fair Wage says that her organization has been working for more than a decade to see this change.
By 2028, 1.2 million workers will get a raise, but it also means that Michigan becomes the first state in 40 years and the first state east of the Mississippi to end the sub-minimum wage for tipped workers, which is a direct legacy of slavery.
But the head of Michigan's Restaurant and Lodging Association called the court decision tone deaf. They say 40% of full-service restaurants in Michigan are already unprofitable, and they predict the decision could force more of them to close permanently, eliminating up to 60,000 jobs. Tommy Lee, MNC News.
Indiana's unemployment rate's now at 4%, according to the Indiana Department of Workforce Development. By comparison, the national unemployment rate for July stood at 4.3%. Industries with the biggest job increases last month included leisure and hospitality, trade, transportation, and utilities, and construction. And the Penn Kingsmen are inviting the PHM extended family to a community tailgate when high school football begins on Friday.
Tickets are just $6 at the Everwise Freed Field Zolman's Tire concession stand before the Penn Valparaiso game. Those tickets are just for the tailgate, not the game. The tailgate from 5:30 to 7 includes brats, hot dogs, and cheeseburgers, as well as chips, cookies, and drinks. And the Yeoman Family Plaza will be dedicated to honor a PHM coaching legend. Derek Decker, MNC News.
Cast your vote with confidence this fall. Check out the candidates and their platforms from all the hot races before the November election, you can do so at the all-new HoosierVote.com, sponsored by Shield Exteriors and Burton's Laundry.
Sunny skies are expected today, and temperatures will stay pretty comfortable. Highs this afternoon right around 76. Clear and cool tonight. We drop all the way down to 53, and we stay cool on Tuesday. Still very sunny. High temperatures only at 74. It looks like we're going to stay with highs in the 70s most of this week. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
You can get the top local news delivered to your email twice each day, 7 in the morning, 4:30 in the afternoon, and it's all for free. To get signed up, go to 953mnc.com, click where it says on demand.
Podcasts by Federated Media.